Governors Ron DeSantis of Florida and Gavin Newsom of California squared off in a nearly 2-hour debate on Thursday that focused mostly on differences between their administrations of the two biggest states in the union, but less on allusions to the ongoing presidential primary, in which one of the men is presently competing. In his opening remarks to Fox News host Sean Hannity, who was moderating the competition, Newsom stated, "There are profound differences tonight. And I'm excited to talk to you about them. Ultimately, we share one characteristic, though, in 2024, neither of us will run for party nomination." It was an accusation that DeSantis, who repeatedly intervened and retaliated against Newsom during the evening, failed to refute. Dubbed the Great Red vs. Blue State Debate by Fox News, the debate featured heated discussions on immigration, energy, tax, education, abortion, crime, and COVID policies. DeSantis and Newsom both cautioned that if their opponents' models were adopted nationally, they would be disastrous for the nation. DeSantis stated, "Gavin Newsom was San Francisco's mayor. Thus, he used the San Francisco model as a model for the collapse of California. The left now wants to use California's failure as a model for how America should collapse." The two men decided to debate each other in August, which resulted in a matchup between DeSantis, who is running for president right now and may run again if he doesn't win the Republican nomination this cycle, and Newsom, a governor who is currently acting as President Joe Biden's top surrogate and is thought to be a potential future presidential contender. The debate took place approximately 6 weeks ahead of the Iowa caucuses in January, which DeSantis desperately needed to win as he was well behind former President Donald Trump in both state and national polls. At various points, Newsom brought up DeSantis's polling disadvantage and reiterated criticisms leveled at him by Trump and fellow GOP primary contender Nikki Haley, a former UN ambassador. Newsom claimed that DeSantis was just trolling folks, and trying to find migrants to play political games, trying to get some news and attention so you can out-Trump Trump, during a discussion on immigration policy. "And by the way, how's that going for you, Ron?" stated Newsom. "You're down 41 points in your own home state." DeSantis and Newsom have been criticizing each other's leadership on their home ground for the majority of the last 2 years, citing their respective governance as a counterpoint to their leadership at home. Strong disagreements over COVID and education policy, which constituted the main topics of discussion on Thursday, were paramount for both men. While criticizing Newsom for closing schools and businesses, DeSantis advocated for keeping establishments like Walt Disney World open as early as possible during the pandemic. DeSantis remarked, "You were not following science. Governor of a lockdown, that's you. You caused great harm to your people." In response, Newsom said that DeSantis had initially closed down businesses at the start of the outbreak and had acted on the advice of Dr. Anthony Fauci, who at the time was the country's foremost authority on infectious diseases and whom DeSantis has been disparaging for the past few years. "You followed science. You followed Fauci," Newsom remarked, mentioning that DeSantis had also worn a mask and advocated for the COVID vaccine in the past. He decided to fall prey to the fringe of his party, and as a consequence of that, Ron, tens of thousands of people lost their lives. DeSantis retaliated by citing California's protracted public school closures and claiming that Newsom is acting on behalf of teachers' unions, which are significant Democratic Party backers.